How many of you guys are familiar with the disgraced actor and now massively successful YouTuber, Russell Brand? This guy used to be like one of those weirdo scumbag B-list actors, if I recall correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. And now he's a right-wing conspiracy theory YouTuber. And his catalog of content, I must admit, is quite interesting. One of his recent videos, of course, they all have, like, bordering 1 million views. Like, these are insane views for daily upload videos. He has almost 7 million subscribers. He is growing quickly. 5 days ago, he's got 1 million views on this video. He is doing just an insane amount of numbers online. YouTube is well aware of the fact that he's spreading misinfo, pushing conspiracies, and breaking their TOS at every turn. But as we've discussed recently, Ben Shapiro actually has a direct line with Susan Wojcicki, or had a direct line with Susan Wojcicki when she was CEO, and used that direct line to get Steven Crowder remonetized. So there is a very strong connection between the largest conservative pundits on YouTube and the YouTube, like, higher management itself. These people will never be punished for breaking, like, TOS like we are. We normies get punished just because they make YouTube so much money. And if anything does happen, they'll just call up the CEO and have that all fixed up. Trust me, if Russell Brand ever gets demonetized or banned while he's still pulling these numbers, I promise you, it will be very, very temporary. Didn't he commit SA, or wasn't he accused of SA? He was accused of sexual assault, and before the accusations even came out somehow, he was making a post. He made a video about how he is going to have accusations come out against them. They are false, and they are trying to victimize him. Before the allegations even came out, so yeah. Do with that what you will, guys. Do with that what you will. Yeah, odd. All of his videos have the most bizarre, vague titles, at least the most successful ones. Maybe I should just start titling my videos like this. It's happening. It's over and the FDA is finished. Alright, you know what? Let's watch the FDA one. Fuck it.
Ivermectin is a type of horse paste that should only be used on horses to make them better.
No. The FDA, the CDC, and every mainstream medical institution has said time and time again that ivermectin is an anti-parasitic. It has shown some cases in which it is effective when used against viruses, but that evidence has not been conclusive enough to guaranteed say you should take ivermectin to try to treat your COVID symptoms when we have other solutions and other treatments that are much better. Not to mention, ivermectin is, as most people know of it, and the reason why people were making fun of people for taking it primarily, is because ivermectin, when taken in large doses, is horse dewormer. Like horse dewormer is just large dose ivermectin, but like human dewormer and antiparasitic is just much lower dose ivermectin. Now, there was no evidence to suggest that ivermectin had a positive correlation with a healthy recovery or for preventing COVID. And B, there was also no evidence whatsoever that, like, these mainstream medical institutions were saying ivermectin is just for horses. It's not just for horses. Ivermectin in humans is used as a dewormer and antiparasitic. Yes, it is. No medical professionals were saying, oh, you can't take ivermectin because that's only for horses. They were saying you shouldn't take the ivermectin because there's no evidence it'll help you, and it's just going to make you shit your brains out if you're a person, and God help you if you take the horse version because that's just an overdose. Yeah, it's a laxative. Like, if you have worms, I guess it makes you shit all of the worms out. Well, there you go. Like, you have to remember, by the way, this guy is just actively advocating for, like, people to take a laxative. The new thing as well is a cup of baking soda dissolved in water, like an excessive amount of baking soda dissolved in water, which will also make you shit your brains out. I think all these conservatives are just suffering from chronic constipation, and the second they eat or drink something that makes them shit their brains out, and they feel like a couple days of like how you feel after you've like taken a huge shit, like after they feel like, I've been cleansed, the toxins have left my body, oh my god, the FDA and the CDC and the WHO have been lying to us this whole time. Like it's the same line of logic as like the Facebook alt medicine types have. This is no different than thinking you can heal people with crystals.
You can say that, but the FDA, you mustn't say it anymore because you've oversaid it and now you've had to be banned. See how you like it? What? Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining us on this voyage to truth and freedom. Remember, you can click the link in the description and become a supporter of our movement where we do our level best to tell the truth in environments of treachery.
Was that Tucker Carlson? Do you guys remember when Tucker Carlson's texts leaked in court where he just admits and complains about the fact that he has to lie about liking Trump and supporting Trump in order to keep his job and make money, and he's just doing it for a paycheck? Yes, we talk about the truth. Have on a guy who has in court been proven to be an admitted grifter who's lying about what he believes in, what he supports to get a paycheck.
And deceit. For example, today we're talking about ivermectin and how now the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, can no longer call it a horse paste. But it's a bit late now, isn't it? They've really horse paste.
It's because ivermectin is the same chemical. It's the same issue as like insert medication being used for this and that. It's like how Viagra is not medically labeled dick pills, because I think Viagra was originally developed to treat hypertension in women, or that ended up being a side effect. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? It was either like Viagra or Cialis, one of those dick pills that are made to like make you hard for like 12 hours or something. They cause like increased blood flow throughout the body, which helps to treat hypertension, particularly in women and men, I guess. But it was developed to treat hypertension like for anybody, but it had that effect mostly for women. The side effect was boners for men. It was originally for blood circulation problems. I thought it was hypertension, like in the heart or something. I don't even know what. It was something having to do with the heart being constricted and not letting blood through, like constricted passageways or something like that. And so because that medication was oftentimes referred to as dick pills or like penis pills or erection pills, I remember there was like a big rebranding that had to happen. It was like passed down through the government by the FDA or to the FDA. What is he like referencing here as far as his article, by the way? He flashes things on screen for like a quarter of a second.
Say it anymore because you've oversaid it and now you've had to be banned. See how you only be used on horses to make them better. I can say that.
Yeah, no medical institutions were saying it's only used on horses.
But the FDA, you mustn't say it anymore because you've oversaid it and now you've had to be banned. See how you like it?
So the FDA has been banned because they oversaid that ivermectin is for horses. He sounds kind of drunk. Dude, this guy is out of his fucking mind. He's insane. I'm pretty sure he's a flat earther. He's literally a moon... He doesn't believe we went to the moon or that we've been to space. I know that's for sure. I'm pretty sure he's a flat earther, too.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining us on this voyage to truth and freedom. Remember, you can click the link in the description and become a supporter of our movement where we do our level best to tell the truth in environments of treachery and deceit. For example, today we're talking about ivermectin and how now the
FDA settles lawsuit over ivermectin content that doctors claimed harmed their practice. So, what does this article actually say? At least he's citing CNN. Let's look up the article. FDA settles lawsuit ivermectin. Let's see how not a bombshell for the right this is. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has settled a lawsuit over some of its posts about ivermectin, including what may have been one of its more popular pandemic-era social media campaigns. In August 2021, to discourage people from using ivermectin to prevent or treat COVID-19, the FDA tweeted, "You are not a horse, you are not a cow, seriously, y'all, stop it," and posted a similar message on Instagram. The tweet got nearly 106,000 likes. They made a joke and the right's freaking out. Notice, by the way, how whenever something that they consider left-wing makes a joke, it's like, they need to be punished, let's celebrate their downfall or the, like, punishment for it. But if anybody gets upset or disagrees with a joke they make, it's like, you're so triggered. Man, you can't handle other people disagreeing. The antiparasitic drug, which is prescribed to treat neglected tropical diseases in humans like river blindness and scabies, can also be bought over the counter at livestock supply centers to help deworm animals such as horses and cows. Some conservative outlets touted the drug as safe and effective against COVID, even though the FDA and the World Health Organization encouraged people not to use it, saying it was ineffective against COVID and could even be dangerous if someone took too much. Obviously, diarrhea is dehydrating and you need water to live, so yeah, no shit. Some conservative media personalities and lawmakers said information about the effectiveness of ivermectin was being downplayed because of its low price. This is obviously not the case. This is all trying to lead back to a conspiracy that, like, your real medicine is being hidden from you and it's cheaper. It was also praised as a miracle drug by Dr. Pierre Corey, a pulmonologist and president of the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance, who testified at a U.S. Senate committee hearing in December 2020. Even popular podcaster Joe Rogan, who took the drug along with several other medications after testing positive for COVID, got into a spirited discussion with CNN chief medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta about it at the time. In August 2021, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention sent a health advisory warning doctors and the public about the rapid increase in prescriptions for ivermectin and an increase in reports to poison centers about severe illness caused by the drug. Some people who took higher than recommended doses or used the animal formulation developed neurological symptoms, and some were hospitalized, studies show. So literally what happened is, there is a animal formulation of ivermectin that is in higher doses. People took it because it's cheaper and it's in bulk, and they ended up getting really fucking sick, ending up in the hospital. The FDA had to warn people about it, made a joke post saying, "Guys, you're not horses." The company that makes ivermectin being an evil fucking... Like, okay, this conspiracy is all centered around how, like, big medicine is bad, and yet the company that makes ivermectin sued the FDA, and the FDA had to settle, and somehow that's like an epic own against big medicine? It makes no sense, and that's on purpose.
Yeah, the Food and Drug Administration can no
Hold on, I just realized there's no fucking way I'm watching a Russell Brand video at normal speed.
longer call it a horse paste, but it's a bit late now, innit? They've really horse pasted it off to within an inch of its life. I mean, do you remember that moment when all you could really hear on the news, hello, welcome to the news, ivermectin, yeah, don't really think about it. Well, it's a thing. It's horse paste, okay? And don't go using it like that Joe Rogan to make yourself better if you get an illness, which is definitely a political thing now and not a private medical matter.
One of those drugs he mentioned, ivermectin.
What? Is this guy's whole thing like playing a centrist while pushing conservative propaganda and platforming only conservatives, like really far-right conservatives? Is he like pulling a Tim Pool grift? Man, it really is the most effective grift in all of the internet to play like a pretend centrist right-winger. I don't, like, everybody loves a guy who says he's an apolitical centrist, but actually has Republican, like, conservative-leaning positions that occasionally bubble up to the surface and are clear if you, like, actually analyze them. Like, I think a good example of someone who plays it, like, really close to their chest is probably Wendigoon. Like, very conservative guy politically, but keeps it close enough to his chest that he has very broad, like normie support, and a lot of people don't know he's like a lot more conservative than he really is. Like, his day job is teaching Sunday school, you know, he believes the Bible literally. and all of it happened and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of YouTubers who are very successful who are just very good at like concealing that they're quite right wing. And if you point this out for some of these right wing YouTubers, you will get a 500 kilogram bomb dropped on you from orbit by their fans. Wendigoon being a notable example.
And it's something more often used to deworm horses.
When you have a horse deworming medication that's discouraged by the government, that actually causes some people in this crazed environment we're in to actually want to try it.
Because for some reason, we're turning...
The article that this guy, Russell Brand, showed on screen, the CNN article he showed on screen to make this point, literally goes on to say that people were taking the the animal variant, not the horse, it's cows, the animal variant of ivermectin, and were getting put in the hospital with neurological symptoms. Not to mention, I don't think anybody can take something that makes you shit your brains out in large scale and not have somebody end up dying of dehydration, or at least getting hospitalized from it. People just don't drink enough water. An antiparasitic drug will not have the same effect as an antiviral drug when you're dealing with a virus. Sure, but I believe there was evidence that showed that there was some evidence that certain viral infections could be treated, not cured or dealt with, it's not a thing, but treated to some extent using ivermectin for people. I guess the idea is that some viruses culture themselves in large amounts in your gut. So a dewormer, something that's meant to make you shit your brains out, very well may evacuate a substantial amount of the viral bodies within your body. Not really you're taking something that's killing the virus so much as you're taking something that's invoking a immune response that takes care of the virus. That there is some evidence that suggested ivermectin. Hydrochloroquine was the other one they've completely dropped, by the way, because that never went anywhere. Ivermectin seemed to have some very scant evidence, and I mean scant, that they built off of and went off of, that said that the way it clears you out could result in a reduction in total viral population in your body, right? It just would invoke an immune response, right? It just makes your body invoke a heavy immune response. So there is a small chance it could help, but there's no real strong evidence that it does. That's the thing.
Medicine into politics now, which seems weird when you reflect on it.
Medicine into politics. Medicine is inherently a political issue because it is a political issue whether people can access medicine. What is this talking point? Is his talking point meant to appeal? This is meant to appeal to as many people as possible. Yeah, medicine should have nothing to do with politics. The people on the far right know that he's just dog whistling here and just trying to appease people, while the people who are just normie dumb fucks who stumble across this channel from a seemingly charismatic ex-celebrity, they're like, oh yeah, medicine shouldn't be part of politics. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Just a short while later, especially as we now know the whole thing was a mad and ridiculous pack of lies. So now let's have a look at why the FDA are not allowed to call ivermectin horse paste anymore, and why we couldn't refer to it as a Nobel Prize winning anti-parasitic drug in the first place when that's what it was.
The FDA has agreed to remove and...
Why would you take an anti-parasitic to deal with a virus? Something that also kind of bothers me, but I don't really feel like is worth challenging as an argument because most people who watch this guy are fucking insane. I would assume they'd have to be insane to take this guy seriously. But anyone can sue anyone. Big medicine companies are very, very, very wealthy. They can sue the FDA, and the FDA just settled because they were like, yeah, sure, whatever. We don't want to prolong a legal battle when we need to spend our money researching shit and investigating and inspecting and stuff. I love how when it comes to the war against things for the right now, it's porn, they're against porn, the FDA, vaccines, medicine, science, education, beer, abortion. How many more popular things can you be opposed to? DEI. Well, DEI is just their new, like, dog whistle for the N-word. Like, when a conservative says DEI, they just mean the N-word.
And stop reposting several social media messages suggesting ivermectin, a drug some doctors use to treat COVID, is intended for animals and not humans.
I like that because it sort of sounds like a harassment claim, doesn't it? You've got to stop and stop repeating. Okay, sorry, we won't. Can we just occasionally on a Saturday say it's a little bit of a paste for animals? No, not at all. Under no circumstances. Stop saying it. Paste for animals. What did you just say? I said it's a waste for cajigals.
The move
I don't know how far into this video I can get, guys. I really don't know how far into this weirdo's fucking videos I can get. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. I've already debunked the entire premise that he based this video on. It's really that easy with these people. Watch my interview with Tucker Carlson exclusively on Locals here. Watch me live on weekdays on Rumble. Support me directly here. And then a bunch of dono links. Shut down the... Let's read the comments. They're fucking insane. Shut down the FDA immediately. We need to create a better, non-captured establishment. Who agrees? But when will the peoples responsible for all the people who died because they couldn't get ivermectin be held accountable? Joe Rogan should sue CNN for defamation. Defund the FDA, the WHO, and the CDC. Why isn't the FDA being punished? The FDA isn't really interested in our health. My husband and I were prescribed ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. Ah, they remembered hydroxychloroquine. While under a doctor's care for the big C. Cancer? Is it COVID or cancer? People say the big C when referring to cancer, but I don't know if they're referring to I don't know. Our local big chain starts with a C. Starts with a C as well, I guess. Pharmacist refused to sell it to us, telling us flat out she did not care that a doctor prescribed the medication. We bought it elsewhere, and we were on the mend immediately. Can you imagine a pharmacist refusing a doctor's order? This was a wake-up call for sure. So, they had COVID or cancer, were prescribed hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin by a doctor, supposedly, and then went to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist said no and refused to fulfill the prescription, and they had to go elsewhere where they did get it, but didn't elaborate on that. I believe that story 100% is true. Totally. FDA, you shouldn't be drinking water. Don't. You know we wash cars and flush toilets with that stuff. So, a made-up quote. Wouldn't the FDA say that you shouldn't drink water? Haha. FDA is horse shit. I'll stop being a crazy conspiracy theorist when the government stops conspiring. These people belong in prison. Outstanding, thank you. This needs to not be buried. This is so funny how the sheep were... Okay, this comment is insane. It's so funny how the sheep emoji, sheep emoji, sheep emoji were scared of horse emoji paste, but were completely comfortable with injecting unnamed experimental needle emoji, needle emoji, needle emoji into themselves repeatedly. All people that had loved ones die denied ivermectin should